12 of the best skateboarders from all over the globe have made their way to the Kyocera Dome for a shot at X Games glory. It's time for Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street, and it starts right now. Well, what's happening, everybody? Brandon Graham alongside my partner, the great Amelia Brodka. And Amelia, the Japanese takeover of Men's Skateboard Street at X is now 50% complete. Japan has claimed 15 of the 30 most recent medals, including 5 of 10 gold in this discipline. So it's only fitting that nearly half the field here in our group of 12 hail from Japan.
It would not be surprising to find an all-Japanese finals in this event.
It happened last year at X Games Chiba 2024. The gold medalist from that event, Sora Shirai, not competing. So we will have a potentially new winner here at X Games Osaka 2025.
If anyone can challenge them, though, one of the rookies to watch, Junie Kong, has been on an absolute tear. He won the Tampa Am recently, and you know, if this format suits him, you will see an incredibly technical run.
Yeah, excited for this field. A couple of the Americans to keep your eyes on, of course, Cordano Russell and Braden Hoban, who's been close in his young X Games career. Could this be the event that puts him over the top? A look at our competition format. We begin with the playoffs. We've got 12 skateboarders, best of 2 runs, and the top 6. We cut that field in half, move on to the final, and just like the playoffs, each of the 6 skaters will get 2 runs. Best single run counts. So here's a look at our start list. As we said, 5 of the 12 skateboarders hailing from Japan, and kicking things off, an Aussie, Kieran Woolley, who we don't see in a lot of street events. We did see him a few years ago in Chiba competing in street, so good to see him in the mix. He was an alternate, and he'll be the first to drop in on this Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street course.
You typically see Kieran in park contests, but he has put out some video parts that include really great street clips. And you know, his brother Dano competes in street as well, so I'm sure he is super hyped to see what his brother's going to put together. And of course, he hits the vert wall with a frontside invert.
Park, I just don't know how to quit you. And how about the swag of the headband? Can't say I've seen this on Kieran in a contest.
I mean, it looks great on him. And I love how fast he is going through here. And he does the nose blunt on the handrail and a tray flip as well. See, he can skate it all. He is an all-terrain vehicle. Gapping up 50-50 to Fakie. Fakie 5-0. Cruising through the boat.
Of 3 X Games medals, including a gold, but of course those all earned in park. But good to see him out here as the first one to drop in here in the Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street Playoff. A solid first run showing for Kieran.
He will be the only one really doing tricks on that wall. Beautiful Osaka cityscape right there, gapping up to the front invert.
Turned pro for Opera Skateboards last July. And he's got a great cheer section out there, as you see Tom Sharp behind him. They'll both be busy. Of course, Men's Skateboard Park immediately following this event. So Kieran's really got to pace himself. 59.33. So Kieran Woolley can always say at some point in his skateboard career he was in first place in an X Games street event. Daiki Ikeda, 6th X Games appearance, earned silver in his debut at X Games Chiba back in 2022.
Really rad way to start his run with a cab frontside nose slide on the handrail. Definitely a unique one. And putting it together so far, going 180 fakie 5-0. Something to really look out for with Daiki is the way that he does a hard flip. He can travel huge distance. There it is.
Wow.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Off of the roof of the boat.
The pop
Straight
of
to
that.
flat.
Yikes.
Oh, cat back tail
Okay.
fakie.
Okay.
Solid full run for Daiki.
Daiki, of course, won the next X-Am street contest at X Games Minneapolis 2019. That really put him on the X Games stage some 6 years ago.
That is such a cool trick. And to be able to pull it back to forward off the
But
front
this
side
right
nose
here,
slide.
oh my, to flat, so good. Steezy. A 78 for Daiki. And Kieran Woolley's run as a first place positioning in a street contest has come to an end.
He's got one more run, Brandon.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't get ahead of myself here. Jinwoo Onodera, who won gold in his X Games debut in Chiba back in 2023, of them Sox fame, is out here at X Games Osaka, and Jinwoo absolutely has the tricks to win gold here today, Amelia.
A lot has happened already. That was wild. He even threw a cab kickflip on the quarter pipe. Looked like he tried to go 180 switch manual right there. Couldn't quite lock into manual, but so far staying on his board with a really great bag of tricks to boot.
Jeez.
Big flip front board, landing fakie.
Oh,
no. Maybe he got wheel bite right there. It was hard to see behind the sign, but uncharacteristic fall. He looks a little bit rocked by that emotionally.
When Jinwoo won that gold medal back in 2023, he was barely 13 years old, 13 years, 2 months. And it made him the youngest gold medalist ever in the discipline, smashing a record set by, of course, Nigel Houston, who did it when he was just over 16 years old. So Jinwoo already in the X Games record books, and a really respectable first run score of 80.
Wow, even with a fall and even with a missed manual attempt, that's a pretty strong score. I mean, there were a lot of trick combinations in that run, but someone else who will have something to say about that, Kelvin Hoffler, a very technically proficient skater. So many flip in, flip out combinations.
We talk about
half cab.
so many of the skateboarders in this field year in, year out, and it always comes to fruition. Kelvin Hoffler is right there in podium contention every single year. He's so consistent, has his lines so dialed. He's won this event twice before, owns 7 career X Games medals.
And consistency is going to be the name of the game with this format here. Loving the use of quarter pipes as well. Kickflip back lip. He is a smart competitor. He has developed a great strategy to keep himself on the top of that podium.
A silver medal in Tokyo at the Olympics in 2021. Behind Yuto Horigome, who is not out here today, obviously, and is certainly a favorite in any contest he enters. Nor is Nigel Houston, who's getting ready for X Games Salt Lake City, less than a week away. But a really strong first run from Kelvin.
Yeah, solid back nose blunt. And then a front blunt as well. It looked like he maybe ran out of time before trying to hit the stair set again at the end. But looks like he's super proud of his teammate Sakura for getting back on that podium in Women's Park.
Yeah, what a showing for her, earning silver earlier today in the Women's Skateboard Park event. 82.33, we have a new leader, Kelvin Hoffler, taking the top spot away from Jinwoo. Next up, a young man we're all very excited about out of Long Beach, California, making his X Games debut, just 15 years old, Julian Agliardi, skating for Disorder Skateboards.
Starting strong with a kickflip backlip. Nice tray flip, backlipping the quarter pipe. Nice varial heel.
Had an 8th place finish at the Street League Santa Monica Takeover just a couple of weeks ago.
Big spin front blunt shove as well. Super strong performance.
Wow.
Right here. Wow, his first ever X Games run, and he's really putting it together. The back 3 off the top of the boat roof. So well done. Oh,
okay.
The kickflip front 50 at the end. I mean, anytime I see that trick, I just think of Alexis Sablone.
Yeah.
She'd always throw that into her street runs.
That was her signature. Wow, what a run for young Julian. And, you know, I bring up the fact that he's on Disorder, and you think about all the success Nyjah had at this age, right, at 15 years old. And for him to identify that in a young skater like Julian, that means something. If Nyjah sees something in a young skateboarder and he puts him on the way he is with Julian, I think we all in skateboarding have to take notice.
Apparently he just ran into Nyjah at a street spot when he first started skating. And wow, now he's moving into first place off of his first ever X Games run.
That reaction says it all. Kayaki Ike now will be dropping in, but wow, what a showing for Julian Agliardi on his very first X Games run, sitting in first place. But here now, Ike.
Starting off switch and throwing in a switch frontside flip over the A-frame. Ooh, excellent use of course there. Feebling and then 270ing in. Backsmith. It's got a great relaxed style. Impossible up onto the roof of the boat and then front shove off.
Yeah, lest we forget, Amelia, he won gold in Street Best Trick at X Games Chiba last summer.
Oh, looked like he just missed the lock-in on that.
And he's an Osaka local. So no wonder the crowd got a little louder when Kayaki hit the course.
Definitely check out his Flowgressive video part for Thrasher. Came out last summer, and just such a talented skateboarder. It's such a great video part.
.68.66, good enough for 5th. Top 6 from this playoffs will be moving on to the final. We're halfway through our roster of 12 on run number 1. Kairi Neitsuke. This his 5th X Games appearance. Earned a silver in this event last summer at X Games Chiba.
Great way to start with the back nose blunt down the handrail and his signature cab heel flip on the quarter pipe. And then heel flip backlip. He is such a heel flipper, and I feel like that's kind of rare to see, as is the late big spin. He's the only one doing that.
A lost art here in these street contests. So fun to watch because he just does it so differently than everyone else in this field.
Once he got saved for his last trick.
Oh,
looked like heel flip back lip.
Just getting stuck up there. Ah, that's a bummer, Amelia, because he was on one.
He definitely was, but you know, that's the thing with this playoffs format. You have to go for a really strong run right off the bat. You got to go all in. There's no time for safety runs.
So a 72 good enough for 5th, but obviously still a number of skateboarders still to drop in for their first run. We move on to Jake Ilardi, making his 3rd X Games appearance.
Also a very experienced competition skater, an Olympian. He always has a great strategy as far as competing goes. There's the big spin front blunt to start things off. Also a great transition skater. He could probably throw a McTwist on these quarter pipes. Tray flip over the A-frame. And I lied earlier. There he used the vert quarter with a beautiful backside air. Unfortunately, just missing the backsmith right there. Oh, the cab back lip out of that boat section.
Last 10 seconds for Jake. Yup.
Big flip front board, landing fakie, putting it together. Blunt kickflip fakie.
That went after the buzzer, but a nice little showing from Jake Ilardi. In 2021, he started a nonprofit, Skate City SRQ, to create accessible, fun, and safe adventure spaces and families for the visitors of Sarasota County and beyond. So he's done a lot of good in his home state of Florida. But Jake Ilardi trying to earn that first X Games medal. But first, he's got to get into the final. Repping that Tampa Bay Rays hat. 74.66, good enough for top 5. Toa Sasaki made his X Games debut last year, finished 7th at X Games Chiba. He also on Nyjah Houston's Disorder skateboard team that he joined almost 2 years ago.
He got 2nd at the World Skate Rome event just a few weeks back. I love the way he does that frontside flip on the quarter pipe, catches it so well. Taking the crook to fakie, an old fakie nose blunt. Oh, love that grapefruit grind. Don't see that one very often. Nice backside nose blunt.
Yes.
Ooh, nollie nose blunt.
Can he get one more in? Oh.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm not sure that that was within time because he wasn't really in the middle of a trick. He was just kind of getting to that back 3 right there.
Yeah, that one might have been for us, but take another look. A lot to like from Toa's first run here in the playoffs. If you remember, his older brother Raimu Sasaki also competed at X Games Chiba last year. Now Toa here in Osaka. An 89 for Toa Sasaki, taking over first place.
So the fall was after time.
Clearly.
He was not penalized for it.
Now it's time for the big dog, Cordano Russell. All 6'4", 230 pounds of true skateboarder. The former high school football star is now big enough that he rides a custom toy machine skateboards that are built to withstand his extra abuse. He took a silver and best trick last year, and it's easy to see why, Amelia. He's so smooth on a skateboard.
Honestly, super talented. Has a very unique bag of tricks that he brings to the table at every event. And unfortunately, just under rotating a little bit and sticking there. doing the nollie heel flip, back flip. Nollie heel flip front board. So gnarly. That's what I'm saying. He's got such a unique bag of tricks. Such a different approach than the rest of the field.
To be 20 years old and to really, truly at this point in the last couple of years to be all in on skateboarding, the sky's the limit with Cordano. It's only a matter of time before he really becomes a podium contender every single event here at X Games. So 73, so even with that fall, a very athletic fall, mind you. No, I don't know if anyone bounces off of concrete more gracefully than Cordano Russell.
He's like a spring.
So here's the 16-year-old that Amelia was talking about at the top that we're all excited to see, the first ever skateboarder from Korea to compete at X Games, Juni Kong.
Blew everyone away at Tampa Am. Last skater to drop into the finals and just made an incredible run. Such an emotional moment. Can he repeat it at his first X Games? Nice gap to backside nose blunt. A really well-timed run. You see him setting up here for his last trick.
Sheesh.
Nollie 270 nose slide. Strong run, strong finish. That's gonna be a really good score.
What a first run for the X Games rookie. And as we said, the first skateboarder from Korea to compete at X Games.
I love the way that he dips that back Smith. There's so much style. And this, a very Yuto trick. Nollie 270 nose slide.
An 87 for Juni Kong, putting him up into second place. Juni now represented by Gifted Existence Management, which is the agency that Yuto started. So that influence front and center, certainly with Juni Kong. What a first run for him. Braden Hoban, 23 years old, out of Encinitas, California, a silver medal at Skateboard Street last summer in Ventura. He'll be the last skater to drop in here for his first run in the Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street.
Also throwing in the kickflip front 50 and a nice tray flip over the A-frame. Every skater's favorite skater. Kickflip frontside blunt slide.
One of 5 finalists for Thrasher's Sodi last year. Amelia, you say favorite skater's favorite skater. What is it about Braden Hoban that makes him so enviable of seemingly every skateboarder right now?
I mean, that kickflip front crook was certainly a lot to appreciate. And then the over crook. I mean, his style is really great. His trick selection is great. And it, you know, it doesn't feel like he's being redundant when he skates. You're always surprised, even if you've watched his video parts, which you definitely should go watch, because that is what put him on the map for Sodi contention. But yeah, even in competition, I feel like it doesn't feel repetitive in terms of his trick selection. And, you know, in a lot of ways, when you're a contest skater, you end up using very similar tricks, very similar lines and runs, but not from Braden. So there's the element of surprise.
Braden with 2 X Games medals, both of them silver, as I said, in street last year, and then a silver in street best trick in 2023 when he finished with that trick, the backside tail slide kickflip, which was so rad that he did in Ventura. So run 1 officially in the books here at the Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street Playoffs. We've got one more run. There you see the top 6 after run number 1. Braden Hoban clinging to that 6th and final spot. So keep your eyes on that bubble spot all throughout run number 2. There's some big names still on the outside looking in. A lot can change here on run number 2 in the playoffs. Kieran Woolley here for a good time. He obviously has park after this event. We'll see how he approaches this second and final run in the playoffs, Amelia.
His style was very adequately described by X Games researcher Colin Bain as teetering on the brink of chaos. Oh, wow. All right, the way he went straight onto that rail into the nose grind was so impressive. And then the nose blunt. This is so fun to watch. He is skating this course like no one else will. Oh, the backbone. Wow. Trying to go the distance there by pushing off the wall, trying to go into that small quarter pipe.
So the last time we saw Kieran Woolley in a street contest, it was at X Games Chiba in 2022, and he finished in 12th. I did say he was in first place after the first run here in the playoffs because he was the only one who had dropped in. 12th place is where he is right now. He's nothing if not consistent in street here at X Games.
Honestly, that nose grind was so rad. You heard all the street skaters cheer. See, look,
Get out
he
the
knows
way.
no bounds.
Get out the way. The course is clearly just a state of mind for Kieran Woolley.
He cannot be contained.
What a showing for Kieran. We love to see him out at X Games, and certainly he's a podium threat in the park contest, which will be happening after the street final. So here's Daiki, just outside of the top 6. Had a really strong first run. If he can put together a full pool here, Amelia, he could be knocking on that top 6 door.
I'm loving the trick barrage here. He puts so many tricks back to back to back to be able to reset from so many technical tricks. It's so impressive. And what the back nose blunt 360 out. That was wild. So I feel like a lot of these Japanese skaters came through the Flake Cup, which is this mini ramp competition series in Japan, and the level of technical tricks done by kids under 10 in that event series is phenomenal. So that's where that back nose blunt 360 came from. Oh, no! Going down on the cat back tail to try to finish his run.
Oh, what could have been, Amelia, that hard fall off the rail as an ender. That was the type of run that was knocking on finals door. He just has this on absolute lock.
Yeah, he does that hard flip like no one else. A little bit of a shifty when he catches it.
Wow, so even with that, an 81 putting up into 5th place, Amelia.
I suppose there's still a shot of him skating in the finals. But still a lot of the field to go, so it's going to be a nervous wait for him.
So now the 15-year-old former street gold medalist Jinwoo Onodera is sitting in that 6th and bubble spot. He needs to give himself some breathing room.
What a way to start. Kickflip back tail shove, and then right into the cab kickflip. That is wild. Kickflip front blunt. Back 3 on the quarter pipe, going for the switch. 270. Lip. Ollieing over. I like that use, of course. There's a lot of flow there. Varial flipping up, and then backside flipping off. Timing
Last 10 seconds for Jinwoo.
Big flip front port fakie, and then there's the capillarial that got him last time. Blunt fakie to end things off, and he's pumped. That is a fired up kid right there.
Are you not entertained, Osaka? Jinwoo Onodera absolutely has to love what he was able to put down there. Jason Rothmeyer and the rest of the judges certainly will be taking notice, and I don't think he'll be staying in 6th place much longer.
Very unique preload stance on a lot of his tricks, but it's certainly working for him.
An 86 for Jinwoo, putting him up all the way in to 3rd place. Also, his gold medal run from 2023 will forever live in infamy, courtesy of a Shrimp Daddy edit from a couple of years ago. If you didn't get a chance to see that, it took the internet by storm. Still one of my favorite pieces of content ever. I digress. Here now, Kelvin Hoffler, currently in the top 5. Certainly someone we expect to be in that finals group, but he'd love to give himself some more breathing room, and uncharacteristically going down early.
Just not quite getting the kickflip crook on the rail. Ooh, but the nollie back nose blunt worked out for him. Going kickflip back lip, and a throwaway for Kelvin. He's just going to have to watch the rest of the field take their runs. You know, in his first run, it looked like he kind of played it safe towards the end, thought maybe he had time for one more trick on the stair step, but then turn around and just, you know, ran out of time. And I'm sure that he wanted to fit one last trick in with this run. So it's not going to be an easy wait for him.
Julian Aguilardi sitting in 4th place, the 15-year-old X Games rookie who actually had temporarily held on to the top spot after his first run. Comfortably in the top 6 right now. Can he best that score and possibly catch Jinwoo for 3rd?
Oh, that could have been a heavy slam, and he got away from it absolutely unscathed. Very impressive. You know, allegedly, he was given his first skateboard by an unhoused individual on the streets of Long Beach. And that person told him that he's going to do great things with a skateboard, and he certainly is.
Yeah, that sounds like a prophecy for sure, as it was written. So Julian will certainly hold on to his run 1 score, but as it stands right now, the rookie could very well be skating in his very first ever X Games final. Kayaki needs a full pull, needs something huge here to jump up into the top 6.
Nice switch frontside flip. You know, and now Daiki is on the bubble. Ooh, back Smith, 180 out. Nice impossible up. Front shove off. Nollie big spin, back lip. Solid run for Kayaki. But will it be enough?
That thing, by the way, 36 feet long.
It's really interesting to watch how everybody approaches it. Are they going to use the sides of the boat? Are they going to roll across the top? Are they going to manual across the top? Are they going to grind it? You know, an obstacle with a lot of options.
Yeah, Chloe Covell on her way to earning gold on the women's street side, opting to mani it, and the manuals she was 4 for 4 on. It was incredible to watch that performance.
They were kickflip manuals too, so gnarly.
Yes, correct.
All right, Kayaki Ike moving into that 5th place after that run, which means Daiki is out of the finals. Nice back nose blunt to start things off by Kairi.
Kairi Neitsuke sitting in 11th. Kelvin Hoffler now in that bubble spot.
The late big spin, so much control to be able to do that trick and catch it while it's still in the air. Nice backside heel flip.
The pop on that. Last 10 seconds for Kairi.
Heel flip back tail fakie. Solid run for Kairi. That is what he was looking for. He found that last trick in his first run. He looked so relieved. And I would be surprised if that did not get him into the finals.
Would need to best an 82.33. But so much cleaner than what we saw on run number 1.
Yep, because he threw this in there.
Again, this is our silver medalist from Chiba last year. We fully anticipated him getting into the final. Did he do enough? And he does. Wow, an 86.66 for Kairi, jumping him all the way up into 3rd. And with that, Kelvin Hoffler has officially been eliminated from finals contention.
But Jake Ilardi can definitely disrupt this finals group. So much competition experience. Also has the advantage of being able to use some of these bigger quarter pipes. Going big spin front blunt to start things off. Another front blunt on the quarter pipe. Keeping his speed. A nice tray flip over the A-frame. Backside air off the building. Back Smith. Yes, hanging on. All right, so far a stronger run than his last. He got tripped up on the backsmith last time. Going big flip front board.
And he's got time for one more. That's a sign of exhaustion there.
You know, he thought his run was over at the blunt kickflip. He kind of saw him look up at the clock and, you know, just kind of kept it going with a 50-50.
You hear Cordano. That was buttery. A lot to like from this run. Better than what we saw on his first, Amelia.
Definitely gapping cap to back lip, and then right here getting the big flip front board fakie.
So try and replace that 74.66 from his first run. Can he jump up into the top 6? EK with that 83.66, holding on to that 6th and final spot.
Might be tough, as you know, EK maybe timed his run a little bit better to end on a high note, and Jake kind of had that last 50-50.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is that going to affect how the judges see his run? They usually like nice little bookends. Start with a bang, end with a bang.
An 84.33, and Jake does just enough to jump up into the top 6. Wow.
Yeah, that's the other thing about Jake, though. Because he skates so fast and uses some of the big quarter pipes, he kind of has a little bit more time to add more tricks into his run, working in his advantage there.
Our current leader, Toa Sasaki, in just his second X Games appearance, will be moving on to the final, perhaps as the top-ranked qualifier.
The way that he catches that frontside flip on the big quarter is just a delight to watch. So much control. And the grapefruit grind going out forward. Popping the nollie heel. Gap to back nose blunt.
He's had the podium finishes over the last couple of years, and just to see the growth in his skateboarding, Amelia, from when we last saw him in Chiba last year to now is incredible.
Great back three to flat to end his run. I love when people do back threes and their feet do not float off the board, as is common. Just shows so much board control.
Wow.
I can't tell if he was going nollie nose blunt or if he meant to lock his truck in,
yeah.
but either way,
So impressive.
so great to watch.
Yo,
Judges liked it.
91.33 for Toa. Climbing the ladder that he was already on top of. Wow. So he's not just a threat for a medal, he's a threat to win this thing outright. But we turn our attention to Cordano Russell, sitting in 11th. Can he put together? Oh, no.
Major upset. Such a talented skater. Also has a really unique origin story. He said he found a skateboard in a bush, and that he was just meant to go down this path of skateboarding.
Cordano found a skateboard in a bush. Julian was handed a skateboard by an unhoused individual out on the Santa Monica Pier, or the Long Beach Pier, I should say. Some incredible origin stories of how some of these skateboarders in this field found the love. So Cordano Russell, unfortunately, will not be moving on to the final. Very surprising.
Another fun fact, though, he brought his pastor to a spot when he was filming, and he got his pastor kicked out of a spot.
Pastor Bob, hey, if Pastor Bob's part of the crew and the crew's getting kicked out, that means Pastor Bob's getting kicked out. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, I love that story, though. I'm
So
glad that
funny.
he came. That's so
So
cool.
funny.
Junie Kong, sitting in second place. An X Games rookie, as we said, already making history as the first ever skateboarder from Korea to compete at X Games.
There's only been one South Korean gold medalist in X Games history, and that was Gon Choi in women's snowboard superpipe.
Ah,
And
yes.
The only
I remember well.
summer medals were earned by a Korean athlete in speed climbing back in the 1900s.
The 1900s? 1997, yes, Mi Sun Go, speed climbing, which I'd love to see back at X Games.
That would be cool.
It is cool to take a walk down memory lane, and we talk about it. Obviously, this is the 30th anniversary of X Games, but some of those early year events, particularly on the summer side, are amazing to look back on. So
Let's bring
Junie
back
Kong,
street luge.
I would love to see that. Biker Sherlock is a name that always comes to mind when I think of street luge. So pretty incredible, this story of 16-year-old Junie Kong. And he's coming off just some heater performances on the contest circuit, so it should be no surprise that he's making his presence felt in his very first X Games. So it all comes down to this. Jake Ilardi sitting in 6th, fingers crossed. The only guy who can potentially knock him out of the finals is Braden Hoban, who is currently on the outside looking in, Amelia.
He's just got to put down this run. He's got a great shot at it. Kickflip front blunt, throwing that in for good measure, and moving over back to the stair set, but using the course in a way we haven't. That back Smith on the ledge there. Oh, no, just missing the kickflip front nose grind. I think Jake is safe.
Wow.
But that back overcrook is still fun to watch.
Let's see if Braden puts this one down for the Kyocera Dome. Oh.
That hurt.
So Jake Ilardi, who jumped up into the top 6, but then had to wait. There you see the sigh of relief from the Floridian, knowing that there was still a couple of big names, Cordano Russell and Braden Hoban, notably, that could have potentially knocked him out, and they were unable to do that. So our finals group is officially set, Amelia. There you see our top 6. Jake Ilardi earning that 6th and final spot, and our top-ranked qualifier, Toa Sasaki. So the question becomes, who's got something left in the tank? Who's got something that we haven't seen yet that they're holding back for the finals? Because this street final feels, for the first time in a long time, wide open. We welcome you back to the Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street. It is officially finals time here at X Games Osaka. Our field of 12 has been cut down to 6. A look at our start list, kicked off by the American Jake Ilardi. And Julian Aguilardi, the X Games rookie, getting in. Jinwoo Onodera, of course, a former X Games gold medalist. Kairi Netsuke, Junie Kong from Korea, and our top-ranked qualifier, Toa Sasaki. No Nigel Houston, no Yuto Horigome, no problem, Amelia Brodka. This is going to be such a fun final with some new blood in the mix here in Osaka.
And only 2 runs in the final, so not a lot of opportunities to mess around or to test any upgrades. You just got to go with a great run right off the bat.
Should Jake Ilardi just mess around and win this thing outright? I speak too soon.
Maybe next run. Maybe next run.
Sorry, Jake. So here's run number 1 in the final for Ilardi.
Someone who could easily skate really well in the park competition as well, and even do some McTwists on the vert ramp, but has chosen to focus on street. An Olympic athlete and a really experienced competitor. He will have one more shot at the podium.
But as you said, this format, there's just such a thin margin for error that if you can't put it down on that first run, you put so much pressure on yourself to deliver on those final attempts. But, you know, pressure makes diamonds, and some of the greatest gold medal performances we've seen in the history of this contest have come on those final runs. The 15-year-old Julian Agliardi out of Long Beach, California. There you see first at Simple Sessions earlier this year, and making his X Games debut and looking like anything but an X Games rookie.
Nice varial heel flip. I love the casual big spin on the quarter pipe as well. Big spin front blunt shove, almost coming off, but staying on. There's the back tail that went wrong on him in his last playoffs run. Back three, off the boat top. I love the Osaka cityscape put into this course.
So good.
Oh.
And that'll do it for the first run for the youngest competitor in this street field, just 15 years old.
Saying thank you to the camera operator and all the viewers at home. Just super grateful to be at his first finals in his first ever X Games. Almost put together a really great run. He'll have another chance though.
A 68.66 for Julian. So we move on. Jinwoo Onodera made history when he won X Games gold at just 13 years old back in 2023.
So much board control.
Yes, it's incredible how he sticks to his board, Amelia.
360 flip on the quarter pipe. Grand spring over. Varial flip onto the boat top. Backside flip into the bank.
Remember, all he knows from this discipline is podiums. A gold in his debut, a bronze last year. Oh! And something we're not accustomed to seeing. Jinwoo not staying on his board.
Well, we saw this in the women's final as well, trying to do a trick into and then out of that handrail. I mean, he does it to start his run, but if you catch the trick into the rail a little bit low, you don't have a lot of time to set your feet and do a trick out of it, especially with the rail being a little bit on the steeper side for how tall it is.
An 81.33, so still a really solid score for Jinwoo. So we're halfway through our field of 6. And now Kairi Netsuke.
Heel flip back lip. A lot of heel flip variations in his playoffs run. Maintaining that theme here so far. The late big spin. Only one doing that. Backside heel flip, catching it so well. He's got a ton of pop.
How does he close it out? Oh my!
Wow, heel flip back tail, big spin. That is so impressive, especially since we just saw Jinwoo not able to complete the big spin out of his handrail trick. So that just goes to show how quick this rail is. Starting
Wow.
heel flip back flip. He caught the heel flip so high above the rail. Here it is. The ender. Heel flip, back tail, big spin.
My! It just doesn't get better than that. A 92.33 for Kyrie.
A comfortable lead.
Throwing an absolute hammer to close out his first run. Bar officially set. He can't even believe it. So what a story. 16-year-old Junie Kong already making history just competing here today. But he doesn't just want to be a feel-good story. He wants to earn an X Games medal.
Wow, switch frontside 360 over that A-frame with so much style too. Frontside blunt. Gapping over to back nose blunt. What is he gonna do to close out this run? He's looking relaxed. Oh, nollie 270 nose slide.
Whoa,
oh no!
No,
No, gets tripped up on the tray flip. Tries to go for the mandatory flat ground. He's psyched even though he missed that tray flip at the end. 'Cause that was still a great run. Nollie 270 nose slide, looking so clean.
So Kyrie with that ridiculous 92.33 on the previous run. Where did the judges score Junie?
Jinwoo had a fall as well. Junie's fall was a little bit less consequential.
It's really not uncommon in these men's street finals for the judges to deliberate and really take their time on these scores. An 80 for Junie. Okay. So third place after his first run. So we move on to Toa Sasaki, the 18-year-old Japanese skateboarder, our top-ranked qualifier.
Starting with a cab backflip. Beautifully caught frontside flip, tray flip over the A-frame. Gapping crook, going to fakie. The grapefruit. Nice frontside blunt. Backside nose blunt. And he does it. Such a strong run. I believe that fall was after time.
Yes.
The nollie front 180 nose grind on the handrail. So I thought it was a nose blunt earlier from the angles that we've seen, but that is such a rad trick.
A full pull for Toa, seemingly picking up where he left off in the playoff.
This right here. He pops so high over the rail too, and then brings it back forward.
An 84.33, so good enough for silver medal position after his first run. God, the stakes just continue to get raised here in the Monster Energy Men's Skateboard Street Final. We're halfway through. Kyrie in that gold medal driver's seat position, but that can all change here for the second and final runs. An amazing crowd on hand here at the Kyocera Dome for the final day of X Games Osaka 2025. Jake Ilardi sitting in 6th place.
Big spin front blunt. Really rad to hear about all of the skate park advocacy efforts out in Florida. So important for people to have places to skate legally. Nice backsmith. Tap back lip, taking it to fakie, almost losing it, but reverting it around. Are we going to see a full pull from Jake? Oh, big flip from Blunt.
Okay.
The Blunt kick flip. Switching up with a front Smith this time, but after time, he is hyped on that one. Now it's just in the hands of the judges. Great style on that backsmith. Right here, he almost lost it, and then he just recovered so gracefully. And then there was the upgrade from his elimination run, taking it to front Blunt.
The mouth completely agape. Wow, what a score for Jake Ilardi, 88.66, putting him up into the silver medal spot. Heavy. Could Jake Ilardi earn his first career X Games medal? We shall see.
It won't be a comfortable weight, though.
No.
There are so many rad skaters in this finals heat.
Remember, though, he earned a spot during the playoffs, and he was holding on to that 6th and final bubble spot, and he had to wait for a number of skateboarders before he would even concede that he got into the final. And now he plays the same game here in the final. Julian Aguilardi now in 6th place.
Big spin front Blunt shove, looking very comfortable. Almost losing it on that heel flip. Saved it. Got the nollie backside flip. Upgrade from his run previously.
Flip in, flip out. You love to see it. What's he do? Dend.
Oh!
Wow.
Big spin front hurricane. He just looks so stoked, and rightfully so. An X Games rookie making it to the finals and putting together an incredible run.
The energy pouring out of young Julian. I don't even know how, you hear him say. I don't know how, but I witnessed it.
The unhoused individual on the Long Beach pier knows how. He knew it this whole time.
I want to believe he figured out a way to watch this here tonight.
This. Whoa. I don't know how either. That was so impressive. Big spin front hurricane. And then coming out forward. Such a short rail to do that trick on. So much style right there.
He won't be in 6th place for long. And 86 for Julian, jumping him up into that bronze medal position. Wow. But now he must sit and wait. Jinwoo Onodera is currently on the outside looking in.
Kickflip backtail shove every try. That is so impressive. Cab kickflip. Kickflip front Blunt big spin. Every trick is a combination of so many tricks. Aerial flipping onto the roof of the boat, backside flipping off.
It all comes down to this, Amelia. Can he land it?
Oh! Wow! That was so impressive. He had to will that big spin around on the sticky concrete. He absolutely forced that to happen. This is where being so light really helps when you're on sticky concrete and just trying to pivot a trick around. So light on his feet and so talented. Big flip front board, big spin, and then right here, oh, he almost lost that. That was so impressive.
Gene,
what a recovery.
Looking at the crowd, who do you think you are? I am. A 90.66, and that puts him up in the silver medal position. I think he was expecting more.
That's what it looks like. Kyrie also looks confused.
Very interesting. Well, we will dissect that in a second, but Kyrie, our current leader, how do you best the 92.33, especially after that run that Jin Woo just put down? Can he incrementally clean things up? Or will he sit on that first run score?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have to. Nice late big spin.
Remember, there are two skaters who will get their final runs after Kyrie. Toa and Junie. And neither of them are in medal position. You imagine that will probably change just knowing how talented those both are. And Kyrie, for the first time in this final, steps off the board. But he has to be feeling good.
So he'll be guaranteed a podium.
Yes. But will it be gold? The spot he currently holds.
That was a wild inward heel variation. That was definitely an upgraded trick from his last run. Couldn't quite hang on to that ender, but great showing from Kyrie.
Junie Kong had an 80 on his first run. Sitting in 6th place. Would need to best Ilardi's 88.66 to get into podium position.
Oh, that switch front 3 is so rad. Nice back Smith, popping out. Looking composed. Gapping to nose blunt, back nose blunt at that. Oh, wow. There we go. He takes the nollie 270 nose slide a step further. 270's out. He is pleased with himself, as he should be. What a rookie appearance. To be able to make the finals and then improve on your run score.
Things just got a lot more interesting. Junie Kong saving his best for last on his final run here in the final. Obviously, this is going to best his first run score. But where will the judges put him, Amelia?
don't know, but I'd hate to be Jake Ghilardi right now.
Kairi and Jean Wu both in the 90s, sitting in first and second respectively. Jake Ghilardi in that bronze medal spot. Where does Junie get scored? A 91.66, and that puts him into the silver medal spot. And Junie Kong, in his X Games debut, is guaranteed an X Games medal.
Wow, the first Korean athlete of the century in the summer X Games disciplines to get a medal.
This is that moment. Toa Sasaki. Can he go from worst to first? He's sitting in 6th place with that 84.33. He's our top ranked qualifier.
Such authoritative pop with every trick.
That's a great way to put it. And no! Wow!
Like just did not quite catch it. Oh, it was looking like such a strong run.
And Toa will finish this out, but he knows he cannot improve upon that first run, which means Kairi Natsuke earns his first career X Games gold medal. Wow, congratulations to Kairi winning gold, Junie Kong in his X Games debut earning silver, and Jean-Woo Onodera adding to his collection of bronze.
A lot of fans out there waiting for high fives. Beautifully designed signs as well.
And the heel flip master did it his way, Amelia. What a showing. What a showing from all of our competitors in the Monster Energy men's skateboard street. A fierce battle. From 12 became 6, and when the dust settled, Japan reigned supreme as Kairi Natsuke won his first career X Games gold medal here at X Games Osaka 2025.